Yo, we back with another episode of Saynomo podcast. Your boy Wayne, my life not yours, man. Sitting here with a special guest in the building, man. I don't even know, like, it's so many things. There's so many things we could go. We could go, bro. You know what I'm saying? A comedian, an actor, entrepreneur, entertainer, content creator, YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? All types of things, man. So let me
across from me, you can experience the furthest blast from
I'm sitting here with Juice, man. So let me get straight into it, bro. Like, where you from, man? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I'm from here. I'm from Minneapolis.
From Minneapolis type shit?
Minneapolis, but I got dual citizenship, so I was born in Chicago, but I don't like, I moved here when I was young, so I don't like being that dude. Like, I'm from Chicago. Like, when you moved here when I was 8? So I'm like, I'm from Minneapolis, but I had a big family, so every summer I would go back and spend the summer times with my grandma. So school year I was here, summertime I was in Chicago.
So you was always, it was almost like you never really left typically type
shit. But I claim Minneapolis because too many people claim Chicago. So
I feel you on that. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people in St. Paul and Minneapolis that's from Chicago. I'd be like,
like you moved here when you was 9 months old, bro.
I was gonna say,
nah, bro, it's over with. Sorry.
Yeah, so let's get to so like, what made you kind of get into like the whole comedy thing, or what came first? Because I was even doing more research on you. I'm like, you actually like you singing shit too, right? Are you rap or what is that?
I do comedy.
Like comedy music. It's like parody music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Emmanuel Hudson, like Weird Al Yankovic type.
Oh, okay. I was looking that shit up. I'm like, yo, you more serious about that shit? Where it seems like more people, like people that actually make music, I don't even see them putting that effort on platforms and shit. That's why I'm like, what the fuck is this? He's do everything. I was kind of confused by that.
You gotta. I call myself a jack of all trades, a master of none, though.
That's real as fuck.
I'd rather have a lot of jacks than none. You know what I'm saying? So, but really the comedy came first. The comedy was always in me. Like, class clown. Yeah, just like a class clown. And I grew up watching Bernie Mac, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, like all of them dudes, like seeing what they do.
I got a question. That's good. You don't mean to cut you off. I got that's funny you said it. I'm glad. That's coming later. I'm glad you said that.
But like it was always a thing of mine, man. Like it was always just in me to like always want to make people laugh. Like not even thinking about like the bread that came with it. It's just like I was always that dude that was just like, naturally, like when Juice come in, like he finna have everybody weak, bro. Like whether he get in trouble or not, you know what I'm saying? And so like even like with the teachers, they already knew. Like when I went to middle school, like they already knew. Like, all right, this the class.
They already kind of
so I would get sat down like, all right, like we know you funny and everything, but we trying to.
Did they let you live a little bit though? Or?
They let me. Yeah, they let me. That was the beautiful thing about how I knew like this was really what I was supposed to do, because like my teachers would give me free reign to like a 5 minute. Like they give me 5 minutes to act a fool. And they're like, all right, now you got to sit down. Like even in high school, like I had biology class, and I'll never forget my teacher, Mr. Porter. He would always every day. Because the first day I came in, I had this funny squirrel story. It was true. Like, we had squirrels that lived in our wall and stuff. Like,
what's the squirrel story? We got to hear it now, too,
I don't even remember it, but it was like, I was just making a joke about how, like, he lived in the crib, but he didn't pay rent. Like, type joke, right? And so, like, they thought it was funny.
On the couch.
Yeah, so, like, I had that class every other day, Tuesday and Thursday. And, like, I would have like the first week I had a story, and then it became a normal thing. So now I'm just making up squirrel stories off the top, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, oh, they need something new. They like, Juice, what's up? Everybody looking at me, and I'm like, I had got expelled from public school, so I ended up going to Catholic school. So I'm like, dang. And this is how I knew. I was like, man, I'm making these white people laugh. Like it's cool. One thing, like if you black from the hood and you make black people laugh,
that's one thing.
But when you go over to make white people laugh, I was like, not many people can do that. So I was like, okay, maybe this is something that I can get into, but I never went into it. I was trying to go to the league. I was trying to go to NFL.
Okay, so you was playing football. Yeah,
so I was playing football. So I played football in college.
Where'd you play at?
And then
college. Where'd you go high school at? Let me ask you that.
Yeah, I went to Benil.
Okay.
I went to Benil St. Margaret's. Unfortunately, but fortunately at the same time.
You always had a decent basketball team, man. Like,
always. They knew how to recruit us brothers for
real. I was gonna say you always had a decent for sports, always.
I learned a lot from that school, man. Just how to maneuver in the real world. They taught me there was a lot of people that I learned from, like how to handle money, stuff that you wouldn't learn on a typical day-to-day basis.
Teach us that in the public school.
They don't teach you that in the public school. And I was like looking at all these people, like my friends, their parents had these big houses, these nice cars. So I'm picking their brain. Like, I'm like, cool. I'm like, yeah, I'm friends with him, but let me talk to your dad. Like, so what do you do? Like, how do you make money? You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned that there's a reason why there's 2 forks at a banquet and not one. Because I'm like, what you need 2 forks? They're like, oh, one's for the salad, one's for the main meal. What? Because to me, I'm like, oh, hey, y'all gave me an extra.
All I know is ranch. See,
yeah, like
you just educated me, man. All
like
I know is ranch.
Things that you learn, because I'm like, if you wanna make money, you got to be around people that make money, so you can pick their brain. And like that's what I did in high school. And so then when I went to college, I was playing football, and then I started to realize. So I went to KU at first on a full scholarship.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Man, you got to check this. I'm about to check your YouTube out, man.
Yeah, check my highlights.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yo.
Yeah, check my highlights, man. Look, check my highlights. They was terrible at football though. So they was cold at basketball. They was terrible.
Yeah, I was about to
say. Still. Facts, so that's what people say, right? So that's what I'm telling myself. I'm like, it's still D1. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still right, because I'm like, oh, Adidas. I'm like, oh, we go to all the games. So I went there when Charlie Weiss had just transferred as coach. So he was at Notre Dame doing his thing. So I'm like, oh yeah, this finna be lit, right? First thing he told me off rip, like, yo, we gonna red search you. I had no idea what that meant. Now, keep in mind, me, I've been the man since I was in 9th grade. I played varsity 10th grade, junior year, senior year, both basketball and football.
So that was like foreign language too.
So I was like, I have never rode the bench ever, right? What's he talking about? So he's like, red shirt. I'm like, all right, bet. So then broke the hit. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm thinking I'm going straight to the top. I'm like, okay, that means I'm on the elite squad, right?
Right.
And then so they broke it down to me. They was like, yeah, so you gonna sit out the first year. You still gonna practice with everybody else, but then you get another year eligibility. So I'm looking at myself. I'm like, wait. So I gotta no cap. I'm like, so I gotta do everything they doing
right now.
Don't even get to suit up on Saturday. I just wear my jersey. And then you telling me I got to stay here longer? Like, I don't know if y'all ever been to Lawrence, Kansas, but there is nothing there. There is it's literally just the college, a couple dealerships, a couple bars, and then there's nothing until you get to Kansas City.
Minnesota, and every JUCO in
Man,
Minnesota.
You feel me? It's like
a pizza ranch nearby.
That's what JUCOs are. On me.
Yeah, literally.
One movie theater that everybody hang out at. It's like the nearest city was Kansas City, and that was like an hour 20 away. So it's like, so it was like maybe every once in a while we would get out there. So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking it's a joke, right? But like people don't realize how much work going to being a D1, like from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. you doing football. And I'm like, bro, I don't even like football like that, right? And that's when I start realizing, like, bro, I don't even like serious. It's not even. I'm like, there ain't no way I'm going to the league from this college,
right?
Like,
right.
I was
you already talking about red shirt.
Yeah,
and
I'm like, I gotta be here another year. I already got plans, so that's when I started like the comedy thing started really picking in. So I ended up transferring to Northwestern, which is over in St. Paul. Mm-hmm. It's a D3 school, so going from D1 to D3.
Right, you get to eat. You went over there was the man.
Yo, can you please explain the differences of a D1 to
so
D3?
Here's the thing. So a lot of times, a lot of talented.
Well, first off,
D3.
football. I don't mean to cut you off. Football, because I got like homies that play football too, and they always say when it comes to like D1, JUCO, and football, he was like, bro, that shit's damn near like.
Yeah.
He was like, you rarely gonna see like a real NFL prospect at a JUCO football.
No, facts.
But like basketball shit is different. You know what I mean? It ranges
because it's a different type of hustle. Like
facts.
With basketball, you can really work on your game by yourself. Like with football, you need other people to make you better. Facts. You know what I'm saying? And so like with that different range, like you'll see some D3 cats and some JUCO cats who are like some rare breeds that didn't get to go up there because their grades wasn't tight. Facts. So we had to play a couple of those dudes. They got one dude, he played for the Raiders right now. He was on crazy. He was basically our rival team for me because like most of those dudes. So it's in Greenville, which is in Illinois, but it's like most of them dudes was in Chicago. So I grew up playing football with them, turkey bowls on Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So like for me, that was the rivalry. None of the white boys at my college, they was like, oh, it's this other team. But I'm like, this for me, it's
personal.
When I go back to Thanksgiving, I want to be able to talk.
He said you was feeling like Spencer James in that.
Man,
Spencer
you
James.
So I'm like, so we had one dude. His name is D. He played for the Raiders right now. Mm-hmm. Like you could just tell like. He was a rare breed. He played defense, number 20. He was strong safety, linebacker, defensive. Whatever he wanted to play, the coaches was like, you could do whatever you want to do because he was just like stocky. But He ain't had a grade. So, like, but other than that, like that, the competitive nature from D1 to D3 was like a breeze. So I was 2-time All-American. Like, it was easy, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I want to be able to play football, but I don't want the pressure of like having to play football all the time. Because I started to find my passion. Like, my passion was funny, like doing comedy, doing film, doing stuff like that. And so I made that transition. I started hosting all types of stuff in college. Like they wanted me to host everything, a multicultural festival. I started hosting, creating open mics. I had my own it was like a late night show on the school campus. Man, you feel me? I had my hands in everything because my dad always told me, he was like, man, college. He's like, you can learn anything in college, like anywhere outside. Right. He's like, you go to college to network. So for me, I'm like, my whole mindset was like, I'm getting this degree. I'm like, I'm gonna get this degree, but I'm networking him. He got hands over here. He got hands over here, which ultimately led to why I was start doing in-game hosting for the Twins.
That was the next. That was the next joint. That was the next joint. I was gonna say, like, how'd you even land that gig,
bro? So, all right. So this is gonna be so. I've never told anybody this story. This is my senior year. I graduated with a media communications degree in sports and entertainment. So like in my school, or at least in my department, you had to have like an internship in order to graduate.
Right.
We at my senior year, I don't have an internship. At all.
Did you even try to get one at this point?
I didn't even try. Okay. I was like, I just want my degree and I'm out of here. Because I'm like, I already know what I want to do. I want to do comedy, right? But I just wanted a degree in my belt just to have it in my belt.
I got it.
Right. Yeah. I did that. Like I accomplished it. Not many people where I came from got a degree. So I'm like, I'm looking at it and they like, we in the meetings, it's January. I'm supposed to walk in May. They're like, yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that you got to get an internship. Boy, I'm on Indeed. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm looking at everything, boy. So I come across this Minnesota Twins internship, productions. Perfect. I'm like, that's my degree. That's what it is. And so I'm like applying for it or whatever. I send in my resume. I just send in all the stuff I did at the college because I ain't had no job other than working at the cafe. Like, I was flipping burgers and chicken sandwiches at the cafe, cracking jokes. You know what I'm saying? Literally. And so I fill it out, bro. It was like a 6-step process. It was like 2 over the phone interviews, 2 face-to-face interviews,
long interviews over the phones too,
bro.
Right?
Man, they calling me heart stopping because I'm just like, they don't even realize like I need this, bro. Like this, I'm like this is my last shot. So I passed both the over the phones. They love it. They want to meet face to face. Let me tell you why it's important to pay attention. So I pull up to my interview, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, I got to go to Chicago the next day because I landed a gig out there. So you literally
was fucking moving.
I was a busy, bro.
3 days,
man.
Yo.
You feel me? So I'm like, all right, I gotta kill this interview. I go there. No resume. I didn't print my resume because in my mind I'm like, well, I already put my resume on the website. Like y'all got it. Why do I need to print it out so you can see it again, right? So I pull up. I'm sitting in here. All these white dudes in suits. You know what I'm saying? I had a suit on too because I like wearing suits. And I'm sitting there. I'm looking at them. I'm like, they got folders. Where we get the folders from? Like, and one of the security dudes, he was black. I was like, hey. I was like, hey, no, for real, because I'd be the same way. I'd be like, hey, where they get the folders from? He's like, oh, they came with them. I'm like, oh, like when we sitting there, man, I'm like, oh, and we sitting here, I'm overhearing them talking like, yeah, man, I've worked in this, and this. I do this, and this, and I'm just sitting there like, whoa, bro. I'm like, I'm way out of my league right now.
He said they came bad prepared. I don't be got my joy.
So they come and get me, right? Keep in mind, I didn't know a lot about baseball at the time. Like, I just knew the black athletes. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
And so you was really winging. So you really went in like on some.
I literally, man. You feel? It was pursuit of happiness type vibe, bro. Because I was in there in the last minute. Bro, so they called me in. We conducted an interview. They like looking at my resume. First thing do ask is like, "Oh, do you have your resume?" I'm like, no, I sent it in the thing. They was like, "Oh, okay." Start writing. In my mind, I'm like, well, I was like, maybe I should have red-shirted in Kansas because I'm gonna be here another year.
So that when he went down like that real like, Damn,
bro, my heart sank, bro, when he was like, okay. I was like, oh snap.
No emotion behind it.
Bro, so we talking, so I'm like, hey, you gonna have to tighten up. You gonna have to tighten up. So we talking, I'm making them laugh, interacting and stuff like that, because it was a communication spot. So I'm like, as long as my communication tight, my production tight, we good. So we go through it. They was like, oh, thank you. You know, it ain't feel like I kind of won them over. Right. I was like, dang, I was defeated, bro. I called my mom, like, man, I need to find an internship right now. She's like, what happened with the twins? I was like, that's chalk, bro. That's done. I don't think I got it. So, like,
you walked out there, no, man.
Man, bro, whole drive to Chicago, I'm just weak, right? So they call me 2 days later. They like, they want to set up a second interview with you. And I'm like, oh, made sure I had my resume that time. Right. Yeah. Then they tell me when I brought it that time, they was like, oh, you don't need it. And I was like, all right, that was my last bit of ink in my printer, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, I got the call and they was like, yo, we want to hire you for the season to be our intern. First of all, I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. Right. Like that is like, it was a tough job, but it prepared me for everything. And like, so they had asked me in the second interview, I was like, so what's your goal? What's your main goal? And since I was in 10th grade, I've always wanted to like be an in-game host of a sports team. Mm-hmm. It was going to be football or basketball because that's all I knew. But I was like, I just want to be an in-game host of a sports team, you know? And they was like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, I do stand-up. I plan on taking that to the next level. Oh, cool. And he's like, what college did you go to? He's like, I see you went to Northwestern. Do you know so-and-so? Right. That was my advisor.
Oh, okay.
And the dude, and I was like, oh, yeah. No, yeah. I'm like, that's my dog. Yeah. And he's like, all right, I'm going to call him to see. So he called him, and like my advisor, like me and my advisor were close. Like
that's like really, it was really like you. Okay, yeah.
So that's when I learned it's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's a fact.
Because he was like, yeah, I went to college with him back in the day. We both did radio, and I'm like. So then I'm starting to think, I'm like, oh, yeah, sir. Right. And so I got the job and then like, bro, just worked my butt off. And then they hit me up. So this was 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Just random email. I was out with my pops. And
the twins?
Yeah. Okay. So random email from the twins like, hey, we looking to spice things up this season. We wondering if it's cool with your schedule. Now, you know, like at the time I wasn't as big, but people thought I was huge because you know Instagram videos, everything doing well.
Nah, man, you doing your thing, man.
Yeah, so like,
but you doing your thing, man.
But
for real.
Back then I was doing all right.
Okay, it was right. It wasn't okay. That's real.
But like I was busy enough that people thought like, yo. You know, at the time I had just did Tyler Perry and like people was like, yo. And I'm like, first of all, I didn't get paid that much. So they was like, if it's not too busy with your schedule, you know, get back to me. Let me know if you want to be an in-game host. Boy, I replied to that email in 30 seconds. As soon as it hit my phone, I swiped over. It was like, yes, I would love to. But yeah, so like, man, God opened so many random doors, bro. Yeah. Like I'm the youngest like sports host
I was
all sports. Next. Yeah.
I was gonna say like next because I never. First off, I never seen no black man doing that.
Yeah,
I was thinking like every time I see him, it's an old white dude doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I was like, I really was about to do some Google search. Like, man, who's the youngest? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We gonna figure this shit out.
Like, if you look in the NBA, like there's black in-game hosts in the NBA too. Like, and like I didn't even know these things going into it because I'm like, how do you even get into that stuff? You know what I'm saying? So my thought was. Comedy, right? If I build my same thing with acting. Acting's always been my main passion, but I'm like, comedy is a shortcut through the schools and all that. Because I'm like, if you already have a brand, if you already got a support group that follow you, that's leverage on a film. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay. Literally, like I got the same amount of acting skills as him, but I also got a lot more followers than him. So those followers is viewers, and so every time I go into anything, that's my leverage. Like, yo. But then if I run into somebody who got more followers than me, then I'm just like,
you got to know the game, though. Exactly. No, like, but that's right, though. That's like real life thinking, strategic, because you got to know the game and just be honest with yourself. A lot of people, they won't run across that part. They'll run across the dude with more and still be like, well, I'm still, and I'm like, bro, you can't look at it like that. It's like, because look, who got the more? Who's watching it more?
Exactly.
They're watching him. Exactly. That's because you got to work more. You know what I mean?
Putting the work. Putting the work in. So it's like. I just like street knowledge is the same thing as business. It's just one is illegal and one's not. You know what I'm saying? So I took the street knowledge that I knew and I just flipped it over. Like, okay, hustling my talents is the same thing as hustling weed on the street or something. It's like it's the same marketing process. Like I'm going to sell the mess out of myself because at the end of the day, I gotta eat.
Facts.
And so that's how I ultimately was like, okay, when I went into doing this full time. So in October it'll mark 4 years of me doing like entertainment on my own, like full time, nothing else, no other jobs. And so I had to make that decision, and it really was a lot of prayer too. Just like, all right, if this really what I want to do, I can't have no training wheels. Mm-hmm. Cause I'm like, it's different when you doing comedy, but you got a job on the side. Cause you just like, I still got this money over here. Like, if I don't get a show, oh well. Rather than
got that safety net.
Exactly.
Without that safety net, you forced.
And a lot of people, reason why they not successful is because they scared of getting rid of that safety net. And it's like, if you want to be successful, you got to take that safety net off, because that it's a different type of hunger. It's the same type of hunger that people have on the street. If you don't know when your next meal coming, you moving, you making it shake, you making it work. So for me, I was like, I don't know when my next meal gonna come. I don't know when my next bill's gonna become. God, if this really what I'm supposed to do, let's work.
Right.
And like, I send out probably tens of thousands of emails every year just to get maybe 100 shows.
See, so you still doing. It's not even like a oh yeah, you got to a certain point, you slowed up the work got hard. He said, I'm still sitting up.
Because when things start popping off, like it was to the point where I didn't even have to send emails no more. Like I was getting consistent work. Then COVID hit. So now
COVID fucked up everything.
And so now it was back to square one, because everybody's a little nervous. So now not only do you have to sell yourself, but you have to sell the safety of everybody that's trying to be in the show. Right. Or you got to sell the safety of everybody who's trying to participate, or like say like, okay, now that things are loosening it up, how can I make you more comfortable in saying, let's get this comedy show cracking? Right. And so that's another thing that you got to maneuver and you learn on the fly, because it's like, you thought, for me, 2019, I did 240 something shows, 2 TV shows, and I did a pilot film. Didn't make it, but I still got paid.
Who's the pilot film with?
So it was with a production company. I don't even know. It was like in LA. It was like a short, low budget joint.
Oh, okay. They was just trying to get.
But yeah, they was trying to get something.
Just get something up and jump real
so
quick.
they wanted to do it streaming, but then like it fell through. But like we still all got paid for it because we did our thing. So like for me, it's like it was another experience for me. Like because I love film. That's what I do in my free time. I'm watching films. I'm studying actors.
That's one thing me and you got in common too. Yeah. Also, it's funny. I remember when I first met you, we met at the photo shoot type shit. Yeah. And I remember like my homegirl, she was the homegirl. You know what I mean? She said like, yeah, y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all kind of acting like not like acting like, but like she like knew like. We will get along. We got some similarities type shit.
We was
so I was like, yeah, we was roasting. We was joking the whole time we was in there. So I'm like, that's a fact. That's why I like when I started like looking at everything you was doing. I'm like, damn, he does film too. He does all that.
Yeah, bro.
The announcer shit, like the announcer and the acting thing threw me off. I'm like, damn, he's like you said, you a master of everything. Like you know what I mean? You like what you say? Say that analogy. You can always fuck up analogies.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades and a
master of none.
Master of none. Yeah, I like that.
No,
so
I think it's super dope that you even rope everything together. Yeah. Like you don't let anything just go out to waste. Like you don't ever let like, oh, this is my comedy side, I'm gonna leave that to there and keep that separated from my film side. Right. You use the comedy thing to leverage yourself in the film. That's like an important key.
I look at people like Kevin Hart. Like he's so big that he's like in this box. Like anything outside of that box, people like, bro, what is you doing?
Right.
Like he tried to do a serious film, they like,
that shit was good too. He made.
Yeah, and like, and that's the thing. Like with me, I'm like, if I start early, if I start doing everything early, I can't be put in no box. Like if you think about it, I'm like, I want to be a Jamie Foxx. Mm-hmm. Jamie Foxx
do whatever the hell he want.
Everything. He got everything. Like he started out in comedy though. Like a lot of people didn't know he started out in comedy.
Color, man. Shout out to the Waynes.
Yeah, like literally changed. He literally changed his name. Like his real name is not even Jamie Foxx. He changed his name to Jamie Foxx because they was looking for a female to like do the open mic, and he been trying for weeks to get on the open mic. So he changed his name to Jamie Foxx. He got on stage and they found out he was a man, but he was already on stage. Killed it. Kept coming back. Got Living Color. Did Living Color. Then he started doing Ray and all those other movies. And people were like, okay, like you don't see Jamie Foxx just doing comedy movies. Mm-hmm. And it's like he does a serious movie. There's comedy elements in there.
You can argue Jamie Foxx is like one of the top, you know what I mean, top 5 black actors of all time. You could put him in that argument.
For sure. I think he's one of the greatest overall entertainers in general. Like if you think about it, he can act, he does comedy, he can sing. Like what?
Even bro, it's R&B album. If you look at R&B albums, if I'm making well, I ain't gonna say 100. We only got that many. I'm making a 50. Yo, it's on there. Unpredictable. Gotta make it. You know what I'm saying? Like that joint.
Blame it on that's my hit.
You know, he get bored and just come back and do some shit, man. And like I used to, like even like when you look at like you said his acting, like it's different roles every time. He even found a way. Remember you seen Horrible Bosses? Yeah. How he's even being serious, but he's still
Jones.
Like, bro, Jamie Foxx is literally like I don't know. I told people once and they ain't agree with me. I say he better than Will Smith.
I agree.
See, but I said he better than Will.
See,
it's
but
subjective.
I'm glad
I get it. It's subjective, but I was like, man, you look at it. If we looking at comedy like it's like a sport, and we like, all right, these are stats and these are everything, bro. How is Jamie Foxx not the most all around?
Yo, and the thing about Jamie Foxx, people don't realize, even in the music sector of things, like he helped out Ed Sheeran when Ed Sheeran was like becoming an artist. Yeah. And now Ed Sheeran is one of the biggest artists. But that's not even in hip hop, so people really didn't like focus on that.
But it's so fucked up people in hip hop know who the fuck Ed Sheeran is.
Because when it comes down to music,
you know what I'm saying?
When it comes down to music though, touring. That's how you make your money. And Ed Sheeran, he knows how to fucking tour. Like that's the thing.
And that's like I look at all those elements and I'm like, that's what I gotta do. I'm like, if everybody doing comedy, so I'm like, what else? Okay, cool, comedy. What else can you bring?
Tuxedo,
man. You feel me? Like it's like okay, everybody doing comedy, but is they doing comedy in music though? All right, I'm gonna do an album. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, okay, how can I do more? Okay, I'm gonna do a comedy album. I grew up on Weird Al Yankovic, and then I seen like Emmanuel Hudson and them doing it, and I'm like. Because I've always had funny songs in my head, but I've never actually had like I never actually knew how to put something out, bro. And like with the last project that I put out, I don't even realize whoever make music. Shout out to y'all because that junk is I dang near retired after this last.
People that make good music,
people that make good music, bro. Because it's a lot of time. Like I went like my last project, I like went out to LA with some people and like did it out there and like. Just seeing how they do it because I'm like I want to make something funny, but I want to make something that you gonna listen to forever. Right. So it's like something that's a bop, but it's like it ain't talking about getting left on red from a female or he talking about getting a whooping in the grocery store.
Shit. Yo, my bad.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. So like my last album, I don't know if y'all heard it, but it was called Simping Season, and so like all those elements. Is in that album like real life stuff flipped in a funny way, but to a like a dope
I'm about
beat.
To listen. I'm about to listen.
Yeah. So if y'all ain't heard it, Simping Season.
We gonna put it on. Yeah, we gonna put all this shit on.
It came out in January. So, but yeah,
and that's crazy because one of my next questions, like you kind of already answered like two of them. I was gonna ask you like who was one of your biggest, you know what I mean? It's like a person you looked up to, and inspirations and shit. And it's like boom, you already just decide, describe Jamie Foxx without even, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Bernie, Jamie, and Kevin were my biggest.
R.P. Bernie. Bernie's like man, different type of legendary.
Bernie's man, the Bernie Mac show was different for me, bro, because it's like that was my whole family. And
that
like,
show would be so perfect today still.
Man, it's eternal, bro. Like it's on Hulu. We watch that all the time. My dad went to high school with him, so they was like, like they was like he was saying, you know, my dad was like, man, that was funnier than him. Like you like, you like Bernie, it's always that one,
I kid you not. Since you brought that up, I went to high school, man. Everybody know this dude in St. Paul. You probably know him if you don't. Steve Stroggins, shout out to Steve, man. You know what I mean? He's a coach. He's a high school basketball coach. Yeah. He used to play for the Spurs in the ABA. We found that out. We used to ask him. I'll never forget. I asked him. I was like freshman. I was like, hey man, you play in the NBA? He was like, no, I played in the ABA. I was like, oh, what teams you on? He's like, I was on the Spurs. I was like, and at that time, that's when 2K, you know what I'm saying? The legend, they start putting the legends on the game. I'm like, oh, that's where the Iceman nigga.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, so you was playing with Iceman. This nigga looked at me and said, I taught that motherfucker how to roll and walked off. I can't make this up. I got like two homies that was right there when it happened. I swear to God.
But that's the thing, like, bro, like old black men and old black women are the funniest people in the world. Like, bro, who says that? I thought about a roll and then just walk away.
This is a segment one of my favorite segments. I'm actually gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start the show with Play Yourself going forward, just to get it out the way. Yeah, like anyway, that. Man, Play Yourself. If you watch a little bit, I make fun of motherfuckers.
I remember this segment.
Okay. Russell Westbrook, you got to fucking relax. You was wearing them Daisy Dukes looking like a ghetto Spice Girl. What is wrong with you, brother? And the thing is with Russell, I don't get what he was trying to prove with that. Yeah. I feel like Russell's just doing shit now at this point just to get a reaction.
Bro, when you make a certain amount of money, it's like...
It doesn't matter. It's like...
Let me go ahead and put this skirt on. Because I'm not going to kid you, bro. When I saw that, I was at the Twins game, and I was just scrolling on Instagram. And, like, at first, I was like, oh... Because I thought it was going to break off at the bottom. And I was like, okay, he got, like, the MC Hammer type vibes, right?
And then... What is he, a pants line somewhere, yeah, bro?
I was thinking to see, like, a crease at some point. And then I saw the next picture and I'm like, nah. I was like, they done got my boy. Man, went to LA, start acting different, bro.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, the shit made no sense. And then, like, today, he posted a different picture of him wearing, like, you know, some more, you know what I mean? Some shit that actually looks like it's acceptable type shit. Where it's like, all right. And then he's, what did the nigga, like, said, like, a Nipsey Hussle, he, like, quoted Nipsey Hussle in the caption and shit. I'm like, yo, man, as long as you get that off, you ready to play ball, we good.
No, facts.
You better stop doing this. Stop doing this.
As soon as he airball a jump shot, they gonna be like, it's because that nigga was wearing that skirt. That's what it was.
On the old head saying that right now. Hey, yo, my dad do not like Russell Westbrook. He like, I don't know what's wrong with him. Something wrong with that boy, man.
Yeah, that's what he said. All the OGs in LA are probably like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Like, I want a ring.
All the roller, all the niggas who was rolling 60, like, hey, bro, hey, good. We don't.
You know what's crazy? His dad wanted the big homies from over there, they say. So that's what's like, man.
I thought he was in Scotland or something at first.
You know what? We just answered the question. That's why. That's right. Man, you better leave OG1, homie son alone, man.
For real. Because I thought he was in Scotland or something. That paying homage, like, found out he was like 3% or something. Like,
I ain't know what was going on with that. And then, like, he like dyed his hair like a little, like green, like a little dirty tennis ball. I'm like, yo, Russell, what are you doing? You look like Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob right now, my brother. He gotta relax.
You gotta stop hanging out with Chris Brown, bro.
Yeah, man. Like, Chris Brown can do that shit because Chris Brown will do that and turn around and like beat up like 14 bitches and slap them. We'll be like, whoa, Bobby Beige, chill. Bobby Beige, relax. Chris Brown is like the most. I don't know. He might be the most dangerous R&B singer of all time. He might have surpassed Bobby Brown. He might have. Bobby Brown was dangerous. All right. He said, hold on. All right, we still got you, Bobby.
Chris Brown is like the Cat Williams of the R&B world. Bro.
That's fair.
You can get in as much as you get in trouble.
Cat Williams is one of the people don't like to give him his credit. Cat Williams is funny as shit.
I know you was saving this question, so I'm gonna wait for it. But Cat Williams is that. All right. I was waiting for you because I already know what you coming up to.
All right. Martin, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, Eddie Murphy, Bernie Mac.
Who gotta go?
You only can pick 3.
Oh, I can only pick 3.
Only pick 3 out of those 3.
Well, Cat for sure, because Cat's my favorite of all time.
Oh, word?
Yes.
Oh shit, Cat's in there. Cat's
my favorite. That's why I was gonna wait. But Cat Williams.
What's that new film? I don't mean to cut you off about that. What's that new film he's working on? I saw something on my timeline. I think it's a Netflix special.
He's working on well, I know he's on tour. He's going on tour. Is that
what it was? Is it okay? Are they coming here?
Yes.
That's why I saw.
November 17th. I already got my tickets.
I was just about to say, wouldn't that be great? Man, you should be able like. Matter of fact, finish that. I was just about to say something else. Go ahead.
Okay. Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle's my second. What was the other ones?
I said Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Kevin Hart, Bernie Mac.
Are we talking from a stand-up or are we talking Universal?
You can pick Universal.
Oh, that's
stand-up's kind of different because we all know Dave is like the number 1 stand-up dude.
Yeah. We should keep it at stand because Universal. Because I'm like,
let's keep it stand up. Yeah, let's keep it stand up.
Yeah. All right. So from a stand up perspective, Cat number 1, Dave number 2, and man.
Yeah, it's hard.
I gotta go Bernie. I gotta go Bernie. Yeah. Because all them other dudes, because for me, I study Martin from his hosting perspective. Like how Martin is the best. Martin is the best host that I've ever seen in my life, and I've watched them all. Like Martin is the number one, other than Steve Harvey, because Steve Harvey versatile. But as far as
Steve Harvey,
really,
I do not like Steve Harvey. I don't know why he's a king of comedy.
Love him or hate him,
I respect his work.
Yeah,
I treat him like how I treat Nick Cannon. Like, bro, I don't like Nick Cannon, but Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
Man, he made that platform he got for people.
Yeah,
that's why I was mad when the shit got canceled for a little bit for him saying that bozo. I'm like, what you saying? That you can say what you want to say, but understand when you a boss and you taking care of others. Yeah, you know what I mean. You just shitted on everybody.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear Nick's good. What about his people?
Then that's the thing. That's what a lot of people like, especially the people who like that was their first time. Because you got like the people like Emmanuel, DC, they gonna be straight.
They good. DC,
you know what I'm saying?
DC especially.
But you look at like the Cortezes or the Moat Williams, who was like this their second, third season. This how they make their bread, and this is how they put themselves out there to go on tour and
some
stuff.
battle rappers.
Yeah, no facts.
Hitman holla.
Yeah, so you like looking at them and like wilding out, say what you want, and like they make the jokes that Nick Cannon don't pay them. That's cat. But like, but it's like that's your bread and butter. Like that show has put on so many people. So like,
even Cat Williams.
Y'all remember Cat Williams and Kevin Hart when it made a tour where they was working on there. Like they were just part of the Red Squad.
Facts.
That's why I'm like, bro, I always respected Nick Cannon for that. I'm like, bro, that platform been around, bro, since I was in the 7th grade, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Niggas, I'm 28. You know what I mean? Like, and it's still going.
Like
right
even when it took a break, like it still was on reruns where it was like Afion Crockett is one of my favorite. Wilding out.
He's one of those legends that doesn't get his flower. Like he's not like, you know what I mean when I say legend, like like. And it was funny because we was talking about this other day. What's a legend? Yeah, this shit's so subjective to really. But it's like I don't know at this point if you I don't want to say everybody's a fucking legend though because I don't want to say you got a overwhelming.
I always say like they a legend in their own like lane. Like everybody got a lane, and like for me, like my top 5 comics of all time is weird because I got some underground dudes in there that not a lot of people know about, but. They pooping on 85% of your funniest like for me. So like obviously you know my top 3 already because those are the ones that made it. And so like I don't know if you heard of Tony Roberts.
Hell yeah, man! Tony Roberts funniest bro. They was roasting on a fucking Instagram live, bro. That was
bro. Like people don't understand, and like Tony Roberts got 3 specials out. And in my opinion, like if y'all ain't never seen them, y'all gotta go watch all of his specials.
I seen one of them.
Yes.
I seen one of them.
Bro, and like no cap, and the reason why I put Tony up there is because I've seen him live and he wings 80% of his content. And it's like the stuff and the stuff that hit, I mean he keeps and like he goes back and he studies himself and like, okay, that was cool. Cause he's better off the cuff. Like and he's quick. Like he's not one of those long crazy. Like if you a quick witted comic, like Tony Roberts is your dude because he's not one of them long, like, all right, I'll set up, punchline. Like, I do a little bit of both. So I do, like, I got my quick stuff and then I got my setup punchline where you be like, oh, that was cold, like Dave Chappelle type joints. But Tony, hour and a half of straight foul.
He's a puncher.
Let me roast you real quick. Foul. And, like, I've never seen, like, I thought Mike Epps was the go to that, but, like, when I saw Tony Roberts, I was like.
Epps got dry, man, after a while. He got dry. He started saying the same shit, too. Yeah,
but, like, that's the thing. Like, when you've been, like, in the game for so long, and that's why I realized a lot of these big comedians got a team of, like, who helped them write the jokes and stuff.
You know what I mean? They got a team of
but, like, you need those type of people because at some point, like your main audience, you start losing relevance with those people because you living in a whole different world now. Right. So it's like you need people that's still in that world that can help you tap into them jokes. You know, like we loved Kevin Hart because he was saying stuff that we related to. Some of us got baby mamas, some of us got crazy wives, girlfriends, we got kids. And so like, but then he started getting big and like his jokes was like, oh yeah, I got a driveway that's all the way down the street. Like niggas like,
he talking about the joint he did when he was in his basement.
Yeah, and it's like
I watched it. I'm like, okay.
Like for me, I was like, yeah, you're not. But seeing his improv comedy, like that joint, like
his improv shit is dead.
Kev is naturally funny. Like, bro, like the thing he did with Snoop Dogg for the Olympics, genius. because he realized like his stand, you probably didn't even see it.
Yeah,
so
I didn't.
He got this big investment in Peacock, which is like NBC. It's an app. Yeah.
I got that.
So him and Snoop.
They on The Office now.
Yeah. So him and Snoop, and Kevin is a crazy businessman, but him and Snoop got this. They had this show during the Olympics where they would recap all the events, and like Snoop was just
they're just commentating the shit.
Literally just commentating recap and just being funny. And like it was hilarious. It was genius. And like Peacock blew up all because of their show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because
like
nobody
Peacock,
really knew
I know
about
Peacock is, but I didn't know that's what, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's always a black motherfucker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Making y'all rich.
But like that's the thing.
I mean?
But it's not even that because Kev, like I think he has ownership in Peacock. So like
before or after?
Before.
Oh, okay.
So he had on, and that's why they did the show because he got 2 shows on there. And so he's building Peacock because NBC is Universal, and he does a lot of movies with Universal. And so he already him and Dwayne Johnson.
Man.
It's
I'm tired of seeing the Rock in movies at this point.
I
love the Rock, man, but I'm like.
But see, the thing is, Universal is paying him a bag because they know whatever Dwayne Johnson is on is going to crack box office.
Hell yeah, all those wrestling fans have seen that. I'm one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bro, it was like, man, I was reading, bro. It was like 2016. He had 4 movies out that same year. He grossed like $13 billion.
I was gonna ask, like, because I know you because like you said, you worked on movies, you did all that type of shit.
Yeah.
Because you brought up that. How did typically? Because I know people who's in the outside looking in. We don't really know how much how shit typically goes for. So like, what's like? Yeah. Say if you had to guess, like, what's the actor like? The Rock getting paid for a movie right now? If you had to guess.
Well, it all depends on what the movie. He definitely not getting under 5 for sure. $5 million.
And he's pocketing that. That's his.
Like that's his. Damn. But most of them people like The Rock, Vin Diesel, at the time Robert Downey Jr. with the Marvel stuff.
Shit, yo.
Like they work out in their contract that not only do we want this base pay, but we want 3% or 2% of box office sales. You know what I'm saying?
So they kind of negotiate. They get like little perks, like a signing bonus.
Exactly. So it's like we want and that's what the scandal with the Black Widow movie with Scarlett Johansson and why they was like,
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. So her deal was she gets a portion of box office sales in theaters. So she wanted it. They wanted it exclusively in theaters. That's what Disney had said. So in the contract. That she was like, okay, if we're gonna do it in theaters, I want a portion of the box office sales. So then they put it in theaters, but they also put it on Disney Plus.
Oh,
so they said that she missed out on roughly $50 million that she could have had.
She's suing them, right?
Yeah,
I was suing them too.
Dog,
that is like. And you just said, legal shit and street. That is literally like, yo.
Yeah, and so on the contract it says that they were supposed to go through theaters, so they gonna lose. So what they doing is they trying to, Disney got long, Disney got long money.
You gonna pay her out, but she ain't gonna want that. She gonna want to if she's smart. But who knows what those setups look like? Man. Hey, man, you get that right now though. You ain't gotta wait that long here.
Yeah, and like they probably trying to longevity because they probably trying to have her get hit with all these legal fees. Like when she win the money, you got to pay your lawyer for the time.
All that.
So like,
shit.
And that's why because Disney got long money. They
can keep that shit going.
So they gonna keep it going as long as possible.
What's up?
But like and the crazy thing is, it's like and people don't even realize like if you a Marvel fan, like if you an MCU fan, you want to be behind like Scarlett Johansson because that's gonna mess up the rest of the movies. Like the Russo brothers already said, we not doing no more films for Marvel and for us. Like people like, oh well, frick them, and you like, nigga, some of the best Marvel movies came from them too. Like
you gonna see the difference when them shits come out.
Exactly.
So I'm like, all right, watch.
Yeah, and it's
not
like
gonna be saying that shit.
Exactly.
Writers and all that shit. Because I got like a couple of homies. Shout out to my homie Malik. You know what I'm saying? Like shout out to Love.
Oh yeah, we got
man, you know
sponsors up in this month. Okay.
I mean?
Oh yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, he does this thing. Check that out. You know what I'm saying? He does this thing. So like, I know like, I kind of am starting to learn ins and out like how like when you watch shows younger, you be like, man, this season was good. This season was good. Why was that season so fucking ass? And then you go back and you be like, oh, they changed writers.
Yeah.
That shit. It don't even be the writing be everything. That's why I'm like, yo.
And that's what I learned in the film world, because in my mind, like, before I even went out, because I moved out to LA to like pursue that and stuff, and like before I even knew that, I thought like 4 people did the same thing. But it's people from, your writer is different, your director comes from one production company, your producer comes from one production company, and they all come together to try to make this medium. But the writer, he just sits in the table reads and stuff. But he'll be on set every once in a while to see how it's going. But he gonna be just as surprised as the fans are when he goes to the premiere.
Exactly.
And some of the writers don't even
make my shit.
Yeah, and
that's not how my shit was supposed to be.
But that's the thing, and like a lot of writers are like they get paid out. Like they'll offer a script to a production company or to a big studio.
Yep.
Studio will hand them a check and they will walk away.
Look at Zack fucking Snyder, man.
Yeah.
Look at that motherfucker was like, nah.
Yeah.
I got y'all. And
like,
I watched the 4-hour joint. It was worth it.
It was definitely
worth it. That shit was fire.
It didn't feel like 4 hours.
It didn't. I told
and
like 2.5.
And like with him, that's different because he wrote it and he directed.
Right.
So like it was his vision, and that's why he
stepped
had that
away.
issue.
Like,
he had that issue, like, because like I think it was like his son.
Wasn't
or his
it Ben
daughter.
Affleck that was?
Well, Ben Affleck was producing it.
He was producing on it. Okay.
Yeah, but like Zack Snyder, I guess he had either his son or his daughter had committed suicide while they was filming Justice League. That's why he stepped away. And like this crazy how studios be, bro, because they just like oh yeah, your family died, but nigga, we got to get this movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And so like they don't even, and so that's why it was so rushed. And then you got another dude who coming in, and like he got to fill his time, and then he also stepped back because he was like, there's no way I can make this movie the way I wanted to unless it's 4-some hours. And they was like, no, you got to get it to 2:15. He's like, I can't get it to 2:15. So then they got somebody who got it to 2:15, and then butt cheeks,
ass, like literally ass. Like,
and so, but yeah, so like that's when I started realizing, like even with you seen the show Clickbait on Netflix?
I just watched that shit. Just finished.
Yeah,
that.
like
I love suspense shows like that. Like, wait to the end to tell me.
Exactly. Yeah. But like with that, like now like every episode is written by a new person. Like with a lot of these shows, like if you look at the credits, because me, I like watching the credits because
I be noticing that.
I've seen it, and like I'm looking at the credits, I'm like, there's a new writer for every episode, and like it was funny to me because the first 3 episodes were written by a woman. Mm-hmm. They were written by women, which made sense because I'm like, oh yeah, he died, and then you find out he a dog, and I'm like, oh, and now I was like, and then I'm thinking to myself, bro, and I'm on Facebook, I'm like,
had to do it.
I was on Facebook like, see, I knew why women like this show so much. They couldn't wait to say niggas ain't right. And so I'm like,
dude wasn't even on that. I don't mean to spoil it. Y'all should watch it by now. By the time this come out, shit.
But that's the thing. Like to me, and I was talking to my lady about this because I was like, bro, like it was just like it was good, but it just felt like there was just like every episode had a different turn, and to me, I feel like that's a lot. And then the ending to me was weird because I'm like,
there was no motive. I was upset about that because that's one thing I like writing. I like a good ending. I'm like, so you telling me she was just doing that because she was bored? She like, and then like
and
it made no sense.
The most randomest person ever. Like
the most
what?
random ever made no sense. I'm like, y'all at least could have put in a scene of like dude being mean to her or some weird shit.
Like just like
create some type of fake vendetta. Don't just she's just doing that. Like,
just for fun,
on,
just to fill a void, just to have something to do. And I was like, she just came out of nowhere because she wasn't even in any of the episodes.
Bro, it was like she came in when she came in, it's almost like, all right, she did it.
Yeah.
Where the fuck she come?
And it was just like, it was just weird to me, but it was like, I was like, that's the thing when you have all these different writers, but nobody really like, it felt like there wasn't really any communication at the end because like there was no purpose behind it, right? And then I'm like, my other half, me being a dude, I'm like, oh, y'all women was talking about how niggas ain't nothing all 3 episodes, but I'm like, we just forgot that she done cheated.
She cheated, was messing with the white dude.
I was like, so we just gonna give her a pass?
Man, listen, bro. Like, hey, don't miss the best conversations. I remember I know you probably heard of the show Insecure.
Yeah.
I never, because I watched every season. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know me and the girl. I watched that shit. And I'm like, yo, this is a bop. When and this I'm talking about like when certain shit happened during the show. Yeah, it's like, no, we're gonna hold her accountable for that.
Yeah,
I'm like, she cheated on Lawrence. I'm like, well, she forgot his birthday. So that's okay. I was like, so that's okay.
And then you start looking at your girl different,
like, what the hell?
Wait, what's your birthday? Hold on.
Yeah, oh god, like, whoa.
Siri, put a reminder on my phone every year.
Every year before.
Right.
And then like even looking at the shit with the Shy, with the shit that Edmund's going through his chick. And I'm like, you look on social media, the women that are it's definitely not women like, no, that bitch is clearly bugging. This is just movie shit. No. Yeah. But then there's some women like, well, if you agree to something, you gotta stick to it. And I'm like, see, that's the problem. That's why you single with 8 babies right now.
He said it.
And 12 baby dads.
He said it. He said it'd be the main ones. Ain't never been in a relationship. Ain't gonna be in a relationship.
Ain't never
that always got something to say. Nowhere,
never been treated nice, but they entitled to all this. Like I said this the other day.
They have been flown out somewhere and they think, oh, this is what
You're
I need.
You're right. That's probably what it was. Yeah. The wrongdoers.
Like, but don't bring nothing to the table.
Nothing at all. And like I said the other day, because like there's 14 chicks on my friend list, and I'm like looking at them, and it's like, yo, they think they catch, and it's like, you gangbang, you got felonies, you out here like this.
And it'd be like, bro, we live in a world where we can't even point them out without like getting.
They say you a woman basher. That's like, no, I love women. I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you and your 14 homies. I ain't talking about y'all. I ain't talking about women. I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I hate about, even in social media. Like, you can't say shit. Like, I believe cancel culture, you should definitely get canceled for certain shit. For certain shit, like when you know what I mean, you doing some sexual harassment shit, crazy certain shit, but you shouldn't get canceled.
Telling somebody about themselves shouldn't.
Are you just saying some shit that motherfucker like, bro? Look at Donald Trump run his presidency off saying nutty shit.
Yeah.
Now, if any black man say something, you know what I'm saying, remotely close to crazy, we gotta cancel him. He's problematic. Yeah. Oh, he's talking hate speech, and it's like, nah,
bro. It's like, luckily for me, like my lane of comedy is not in that area, but like a lot of comics are like they suffer from that because it's like comedy is like the last raw art form where you can literally get up there and talk your talk and like in a funny way where people be like, that's kind of that's controversial, but you can get away with
LOL.
It. Like for me, like for me, it's like you can say things that everybody is thinking or one group of people are thinking, but they too scared to say. It's like the last form of like freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
And so for me, when I tell people, I'm like, I might not agree with everything a comic says on the stage or whatever he does, but I'm like, I respect the fact that he has the freedom to say that. If I don't like it, I'm not going to the show. I'm like, why you cancel? I'm like, just don't buy the ticket. You know what I'm saying? And so then, because you try to put this pressure on everybody else, like, oh, you support him for, like, no. Like, for me, like, everybody, like, Cat Williams, your favorite. He did this. I'm like, nigga, I don't say nothing about what you do after work.
People like to. People forget though. People forget it's a job.
It's a job.
And their job is entertainment. Exactly. So like anything you can say, like Donald Trump, he can say anything, and guess what? He's on every news. Exactly. Every news station.
I was like, cancel that motherfucker. Yeah. After that White House shit, it was like after them white cops got killed, it was like, oh no, Donnie, you done crossed the line now. You crossed the line now, Donald.
But that's the Twitter. He was like, all right,
straight
Twitter, help me out.
Look, for real. But that's what I really be telling people. I'm like, bro, if somebody followed you around and saw everything you did after your job, you think you still have your job?
No, nobody would. Like, come on, man.
Like, you gotta remember, like, he just doing something that he loved that just so happens to inspire people. Now y'all care about every move that he making, everything that he say. Like, what?
It's almost like they want to constantly remind you of it, so like the world don't forget about it. Like Kevin Hart, for example. Remember when him with the whole fucking the Oscar shit?
Yeah.
They wanted him to apologize for some shit he literally apologized on tape for already. Yeah. I feel him like, nah, y'all, but I'm not doing this with y'all.
And
y'all
that's the crazy thing is like that was 10 years ago.
10 years ago, so
bro. Like, if you look at, I already deleted all my stuff. Just in case. I already deleted everything.
Be careful. They say like somebody, they say it's like a master Twitter that got everybody shit.
Look.
A master joint.
Well, then I don't never want to be, that. Well,
no, because there's people who own people's MySpace data.
Oh, yeah. Bro, you ever seen the Great Hack? Have you ever seen the Great Hack?
No, I haven't.
Watch that shit on Netflix, bro.
But they was even on Clickbait, they was talking about that. You can buy buy metadata or whatever.
See, that shit's crazy because they talked about that. There was a documentary on Netflix that came out like in 2019, 18. It's called The Great Hack. Watch that.
Yeah. No, I did see that.
You saw that?
Yeah.
You saw how the girl was basically saying like how basically Trump and all and the Facebook dudes, she was selling their data type shit. That shit's real. The cookies and all that type of shit.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if y'all niggas got time to be looking up my stuff from 2011,
watch my new videos. God damn it!
Right. Yeah. Look at how I'm living now. Like, that was my big thing. The biggest arguments I had with people about that Kevin Hart stuff. I was like, bro, I'm like, do you know how much you can grow in 10 years? Do you know how much you can learn? I'm like, bro, me 10 years ago, I would never do comedy in the church if they saw what I was doing 10 years ago. Like, I'm a clean comic, but like, if they looked up 10 years, I wasn't saved 10 years ago. So I was like, I'm gangbanging, selling drugs, like I'm doing all types of stuff. And so I'm like, but like, if you see, like, everybody grows, bro. Everybody gets older. Everybody learns. Like, okay, that was childish stuff that I was doing back then. I've learned so much since that time. And like, the fact that you hold somebody accountable. But it's not even that. It's the fact that you hold black entertainers
I was just gonna say the
accountable,
black ones, bro.
Because I'm like, oh, we ain't saying nothing about the Charlie Sheens or the Harvey Weinstein. We keeping that under wraps, right? So I'm like, we ain't talking about that.
What's the dude name? Dude that married his own daughter,
bro.
Woody Allen? What's his name?
I
think that was his name, bro. This dude adopted his daughter like in the 80s or 70s. They're married now. It was just the weirdest shit I've ever seen, bro.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why I don't mess with white entertainers. I don't mess with white entertainers, bro. Like, people be like, "What's your favorite? Who your favorite white?"
Jim Carrey, only one.
Man,
Jim Carrey and Gary Owens. Adam Sandler gets a pass. But I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't relate to white
and that's
stand up. Like, stand up is different. Stand up is like a personal thing. Like, you know who's a funny like underground? He's not white, but he's like underground to me. Like Hannibal. I fuck with Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal Buress.
That motherfucker is, man. Speaking of fucking Bill Cosby, he's the one that brought all that shit. Like, people like him, Hannibal. I even like Laurel before he was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, his stand up is fucking.
Oh yeah, I still like. My thing is just like, there's certain comics that I can. And how I want to be is they can paint a picture without you even having to see their face. Fact. And that's why Cat Williams is my favorite. Like, when I drive back and forth to Chicago to like visit family or work on stuff because my manager lives out there, like, I listen to they stand up like through Spotify. And so like, cause Spotify, people don't really know, Spotify has a lot of specials on there. So I be listening to it and like, I be weak, bro. Like, and Lil Rel's Irrelevant stand up is one of those where I can listen to and I'm just like, yo, this is hilarious. Because he was like, when he's talking about old black people be racist, bro, like, that's literally my grandma, bro. He was like, he said something about how his granddad told him to go get him a Polish sausage, but he was like, he be overemphasizing the word nigga. Like, he's like, go get me a Polish sausage and make sure it don't drip, nigga. Like, that's like my favorite joke of all time. But it's like, those people like that is it's like when you can paint a picture without even having to, like, you can see their face in your mind. It's like it play out their story. That's the type of stuff that'll live forever. Kevin Hart's
great. Bro, them fucking stories about his dad. And
bro,
his dad,
the kids, the ostrich. Yeah.
Like, I made an executive
decision. She had to go. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit.
And that's the stuff where you be like, yo, this is fire.
His daughter.
Yeah, but no, I know we gonna wrap it up. I know you said you got something you gotta do, man. So
no, we good. We can keep going or whatever you need.
Yeah, man. Staying on that note, what's your favorite top 5 movie directors? And I'll be honest, I'm one of them dudes because I'm honest. I say white and black. I do that. Yeah. I tell people I did that one time. One of my white buddies tried to. Well, why do you have to always do? Yeah. No, bro, that's what we gonna do. We're not gonna compare. I'm not gonna compare Tom Hanks to Morgan Freeman, even though they're kind of comparable if you look at it like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, but it's like, nah.
But that's the thing. A lot of people don't even know like a lot of black directors. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, but for me, I'm in the film world, so I know a decent amount. But I would say, to be honest, my number one is. It's either Michael Bay or Guy Ritchie. I like Guy Ritchie a lot. I don't know if you've seen any. So he does the movies like. Have you seen Wrath of Man? Jason Statham.
Nah, I seen a lot of Jason Statham movies. I didn't see Wrath of Man.
Oh,
I seen a lot.
Yeah, it came out last year.
Nice.
Oh, bro, you gotta. But Guy Ritchie be having them. He did Kingsman.
Oh, that's funny. I own both of those.
Yeah. So like
the second one, man. He didn't do the second one, did he?
Probably. He directed the second one.
He directed the second one. He ain't right.
But no, yeah, Guy Ritchie, his movies always got like cliffhangers. He did The Gentleman, which came out last year as well. But Michael Bay, I love Michael Bay because I just like his style.
Man, I told somebody Michael Bay. That's boy that made Transformers, Bad Boys, and all that shit, right? Yeah. Explosion. I was just about to say he's the king of explosion.
Man,
he's the king of explosions. Just doing
blow
shit the fuck up.
Action movies are my favorite, and they the hardest to make because it requires the most discipline.
The biggest budget too.
It's the biggest budget, but it's like a lot of times you only get one shot to get something right. Because it's like
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, but yeah.
I was like, that's probably how that really be. Yeah. One shot.
No, because like if you think about it, like if you blowing up a building, bro, like you can't just
do that
like
shit over
it. Like, nah, nigga, we see the window broke. Yeah, and so like action movies, like, and like I don't even like horror movies, but horror movies are like other films that are hard to make because it's like you gotta build that suspense. You gotta shoot fear, like, and that's
really getting somebody's mind. Like, what scares this motherfucker?
Exactly.
Not what scares me. What scares all these motherfuckers? You know what I'm saying?
And so, but yeah, going back, so I would say Michael Bay is definitely my favorite. I mean, Guy Ritchie would be third. I like Ryan Coogler. He's dope.
He's the dude that made Black Panther, right?
Yeah, Black Panther, Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station, yeah. He's making he's making like real, like on some real culture type shit. I like that.
And like he helped with both Infinity Wars and Endgame. Okay. And so but he's newer to the game, but like I seen some of his shorts and stuff that he made before he got big, and like bro always had it. The Creed movies, he made the Creed movies.
Facts. I know I was forgetting something. Yeah.
And so let's see, Ryan Coogler, you said top 5.
You fuck with Quentin?
Nah, see that's the thing.
I know a lot of people don't fuck with Quentin. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I love that violent shit in the movies, bro.
Yeah, see,
violence and suspense is like my thing. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like,
I love Django for real, but it's like Quentin Tarantino rubbed me the wrong way because I just be like, this nigga, he be making movies just so he can say nigga, bro. Like I feel like because you give him a pass because he like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make all the stuff where white people say nigga and y'all can't get mad at me because it's a movie. Like
what they said Django was said like 300.
It was like 300,
377 times.
Yeah, and like the first time I seen that, I saw it with a white girl. Like,
bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll never forget. I was with my pop and I was with my uncle. We saw that shit, man, and like we was in there laughing at some of the shit that we was getting mad because other white people, it was laughing a little bit too hard. Like,
I can give you a worse one. I saw it with a whole white family, 12 Years a Slave.
Swear to God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not even a comedy. That's not even a comedy movie.
But low key, them the best ones to see white people with because they be feeling guilty.
You might be watching them
looking at me like, oh
my God.
Everybody said they looked at you.
Look.
You want some popcorn?
Right. Them the best movies. I'm like, slave movies, the best movies to go see. It's like,
but it was,
can I take you out to eat? Like, is that okay? Like,
yeah.
Because
it
was like 3 different generations.
Yeah.
So it was like an older generation, their parents, and then the kids.
The people that
the old people were like, oh nope, I'm not gonna look at him. I'm not gonna look at him. The young kids are like,
because they used to do that. They was like, he might remember us. Fuck. It might be in him still.
His last name looked familiar. I think we attacked him with some dogs. I don't know.
It's a different dynamic when you watch movies with like a black movie or a movie made like Quentin Tarantino with white people because it's
any culture movie.
Might to them be like, oh my god.
But the crazy, I'll even take it
funny as fuck. That's a good point. Y'all seen Hateful Eight?
Yeah,
bro. I laugh at like you said. There's certain parts I shouldn't laugh at, but it's like you laugh at it because it's funny how it's said. But it's like it can never be funny to you though.
Yeah.
Almost. Like,
and that's just how I feel about Samuel L. Jackson in general, bro. Like,
that's one of my favorite actors.
He's one of my favorites too. But I'm just like, bro, like.
He fuck with Quentin Tarantino. Him and Quentin Tarantino like really cool. Because I remember I saw a dude asked him about that. He was like,
because that was his first. Well, his first like big move. It was Pulp Fiction. So like when you,
he gave him his little break.
Like when you were real.
He's been like out of black people. He's been like the most movies of all time.
But you know what's crazy about that though?
What?
He's never denied a role. Cause he's like, I love making movies. So like every role, as long as the money, he's like, I watched his interview. He was like, if the money add up, I'm doing it. I don't care what kind of movie it is. He's like, I'm doing it. And I'm like, that's some real spit. Cause
for him to say that, and I never seen him do like no crazy. I don't want to crazy role.
Yeah, Django was the only like.
That was like that's what I mean. Like, he did that so fucking well. You see how he was looking when he was.
Yeah.
What that nigga on that nag?
Bro, that's so funny because that's one of our favorite.
Bro, for real.
That's one of our favorite lines when me and my homies, we always be saying that. Like when we be on the game and stuff.
What that nigga on that nag?
Who that nigga in that car? Like anything.
That shit crazy. But looking like at movies and shit, because I fuck with movies heavy too, man. Like what's like I know you said you kinda said all like your favorite type of movies. Do you have like a top 3 movies, like endings that like kind of left you speechless? That like you was like, what the fuck? This shit just left me.
Shoot, man. Them the movies that I love.
See, all right, well, shit. If you ain't got none, I'm gonna just name 3 if y'all seen these or not, man. I am in no order. Order.
You go first.
Y'all seen Usual Suspects?
Who's that with?
Kevin Spacey. I know he's not popular no more, but you know.
House of Cards, bro.
Oh yeah.
What Dave Chappelle say? Goddamn, he was like, remember what he said?
I was right there with him.
Yeah. I felt it. That shit was decent.
Yeah. He said, what he said? He said he couldn't wait till the end of the season.
So we had to find out Kevin Spacey was grabbing boys by the pussy. Crazy, bro. But no, I'll say that.
Yeah,
I'll say, watch that Usual Suspects, bro. That ending, next level, bro. Like, I don't want to spoil it. That Shutter Island.
Yep.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
I did that movie,
bro.
Yep.
I show people that want to be like, I want to see your reaction because I was like, nah. Yeah. That's one of the movies you got to rewind like 10 times after you watch it. Like, did that really just happen?
Yeah.
That and then Basic. That's with Samuel Jackson and John Travolta. You see that?
Yeah.
That ended fucked me up too. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
So it's like, man, the movies like that.
Shutter Island is definitely up there. Shoot, even like, because I love watching movies where I'm just like, whoa,
who's the killer?
And then you gotta go back and watch it again. Mm-hmm. And like you start to see things like even with the new Jason Momoa movie on Netflix, Sweet Girl.
I didn't watch that. Is it good?
Trailer.
Oh, that's the shit when his wife died from the pharmaceutical.
Yeah, that one got a twisting on the end that caught me off guard.
I didn't finish that.
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it late. I watched it late. Yeah, that's what I said.
That's why
I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. It's like a cool with it. And at the end, I was like, no. Whoa. I was like, hold on, run it back. I was like, when? Because I watched it late, so I was like, oh yeah, it's cool. Because I love Jason Momoa, so I'm like, anything. If you watch this show, I don't know if you've seen he got a TV show on Apple TV called nigga, yes.
That's Aquaman.
Bro, get that free trial. Bro. And
oh fuck. Game of Thrones.
Funny as hell. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is one of my favorite shows ever.
Hey, you know what's funny? I just watched that show for the first time. I finished it. Like, what was that, like 5 months ago when I was watching that? That was like 5-6 months ago. I just finished it. That show's lit.
It's lit.
I didn't like the last season. I see why y'all was mad.
Yeah. The last two episodes kind of blew me, but
and I overall, hate the way they killed, man. Cersei deserved to die way worse than that. That was whack. They get crushed, her and her little incest county brother anyway.
I would say Game of Thrones. Actually, I quit a job just to watch the first season of Game of Thrones.
What a God.
I saw in every fucking thing.
Jesus Christ.
I thought
I was bad.
Okay.
I stayed up for 48 hours.
I was going to say, they need to see your ass the whole little case right now.
I thought I was bad. I stayed up for 48 hours straight to watch the first 3 seasons.
Of
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, see, y'all legendary. I can't do that.
It was so bad, bro. Like I started it with my roommates at the time. Went to sleep, finished the first season as he was getting up for work.
He's like, "What the fuck, bro?"
No, he didn't even say nothing because I faked sleep as soon as I heard. I was in the living room. I heard him hop out the bed and open the door. I was like,
"Hell yeah!"
And he walked in. We got out the shower, pretend like. He was like, "You been up the whole time?" No, bro.
Niggas not about to judge me.
Right.
Oh God!
As soon as he left,
as soon as he leave, man, this nigga Juice was watching Game of Thrones all fucking night, man.
Bro, 48 hours straight, bro, and but yeah, that's one of my favorites. But damn, there was a show or a movie back to what you were talking about,
Yeah,
the suspense
facts,
joint. I think it's like The Magician or something like that.
Oh, you talking about
Jackman.
what Edward Norton and Christian Bale? Oh,
Yeah.
no, Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale.
Yeah.
That fucked me up too. You
That
forgot?
one was that one was crazy.
You saw that?
With the cards and like
Yeah, the
Yeah.
magician shit.
Yeah.
The nigga had a twin brother the whole time.
Yeah.
That's the fuck up.
Yeah.
Bro, he literally was like, you just what he tell us at the end, bro. He was like, you just couldn't let me win.
Yeah. That
Like,
that one
bro.
that one was cold, bro. And then I can't even, bro. I'm spazzing on another one that I had saw like Inside Man with Denzel was good.
Shout out to Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Spike Lee makes it too.
Yeah, Spike Lee makes mine.
We
Yeah.
forgot about it. I definitely forgot about it too.
Spike Lee makes mine. But I didn't even know Spike Lee made that, bro, because that I didn't find out till I watched it like a second time. Because I thought
Did you notice that first?
I didn't know that he directed it because I thought Spike Lee just made movies like Do the Right Thing and all that stuff. So I was like, yeah,
School Days and shit.
yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, you just make them uppity,
Bamboozle.
yeah, like them uppity nigga movies, right? And then I was like, because
Remember that Chirac shit? Him and
Bro.
Nick Cannon made that shit was ass,
bro. And see, that's the
Them
thing,
Chicago niggas was on there.
bro. They hated that.
Them
joint.
Chicago niggas hated that
Bro,
shit.
but I'm like low key, but I'm like, man, that's how y'all need to be acting though. Like,
I'll be honest, I saw the trailer and I knew it wasn't gonna be it.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, them niggas ain't gonna like that.
yeah, no facts.
They not gonna like that
because
shit.
like with Spike Lee, I didn't realize how deep his catalog was, bro. Because I'm like, them was the only movies I seen. I'm like, why y'all niggas saying he in the top director? Like what? And then I start seeing like the movies, and man, I'm like, I'm quiet.
He got some shit, but
Yeah.
it's just so funny how because I was watching y'all heard of Watch Mojo on YouTube. Yeah, bro. They was doing this thing and it was this category. It literally said top directors who made one hit wonders and fell off, and they put John Singleton on the list. And that's why it's like when they do shit like that, it's like, you know what? I don't think it's fair for y'all to comment on what we do. You know what I'm saying? Because
and that's the thing too. Is like it's like you had that argument of like, do we draw the line between black directors and white directors, or do we compare the two? Because it's like it's the same industry. We only thing that we have that they have that we don't is like they have more resources for a lot of their films. So a lot of stuff that we know would be hot, like some of them don't always agree with, or they can't see the bigger picture. But it's like in reality, African Americans spend the most money on entertainment.
we're the biggest consumers, bro. We
The
don't
biggest.
really own shit. Like,
Exactly.
That's what's sad. Like,
and that's the wild, and that's one thing that I appreciate what Black Panther did was like made
shout out
people
Tyler Perry.
No, fact,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
even
I was
Tyler
gonna say
Perry.
that. Shout out Tyler Perry,
And
because
even
that
Ty-
motherfucker.
Like you can hate Tyler Perry all you want.
I wish he did more. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I because he has so much. He could do more. I'm just like, all right, Tyler, we get it.
Yeah.
Give us something else. You tried it with Atlas Cross. I hated it.
Yeah.
But you could do something else.
But even like when he acts in other movies, like he like he's tough, and it's like, but like you can hate it or not, but like that dude, he knows he knows his market. He knows his demographic.
His market. Facts. You're right. Like you said, he knows his market.
Yeah, because
my mom and grandmas love them shits, bro. They always gonna see it. It don't matter what happens. That's why it's like he got his market.
He had
that's a fact.
Live action like what is it? Not Hollywood.
The live play shit.
Broadway. A Broadway. Type thing of the Medea.
Yeah, when she was gone, or I think Medea's
that's a crazy thing. Like you could take a movie role and then literally brought like.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It started out as a play.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I remember being young, coming back from church, mom and pops popping them shits in while watching this shit on the play, bro. Yeah, that's why he grinded his way up. Like, bro, I don't know if niggas was bootlegging them shits out of church,
they had to.
I'm
like, I didn't know.
It wasn't like real. It was like fake DVDs.
Yeah, no, they definitely.
That's why that's crazy because damn, you didn't know that. But bro, they were on stage first, and then after that, he got his deal. And then once he got that movie deal, was
so like all the movies that every Medea movie that you've seen was a play.
It's a play. I'll show you.
And then even pretty much like 80% of his movies were plays before.
Mad Black Woman was like
one of his most
popular one.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, and so like all of his stuff was plays, and then he just started making so much money that he started a production company and he started making films. All his stuff, and this is the reason why I respect Tyler Perry, because all his stuff was fully funded by him.
the boss for that.
He didn't like everything he made in the box office goes right back to him, and that's why he created his own studio, which is actually the biggest film production like studio in the world.
In Atlanta, right?
Yeah. And like everybody,
that shit looks nice. Now they did like a little virtual tour of it. I'm like,
yeah.
That's why I was kind of like, damn, bro, make something else. Like, I'm like, come on, man.
But that's the thing. Like, he know his niche.
He know his market though. You're right.
But like, he charging all them Hollywood dudes.
Directors are coming, so they probably making shit in his shit.
Everybody making stuff in his studio because not only this, how he's smart. Not only do he have way more sound stages than any of the studios, but they cheaper.
Because in Atlanta, everything is cheaper.
And it's cheaper. So like they was filming, they would go out there to film scenes in his sound stages just because it would be cheaper than to film like at Universal or at Warner Brothers. So like he getting there's a reason why he a billionaire.
Facts.
And he became a billionaire pretty quickly. And so it's like, because they filmed Black Panther there. They filmed.
We were just talking about them plays, bro.
Yeah.
I remember that as a shorty.
It was like 2005. It was like 2004, 2005. Bro was homeless, bro.
He's doing all this without saying nigga one time. Like, that's why I'm like, Madea don't be. I'm just saying, like, he's doing all that without saying nigga one time, bro. And like, I'll be honest, like, his movies do be good, just. Some of them just be too much for me.
Yeah, like some of them you be like,
which one is his?
Like cheesy as heck.
Because some of them I be kind of, some of them shits, some people I feel like are fake Tyler Perry creators. They'll make some shit. I'll be like, it's a Tyler Perry movie. And I'm like, oh, y'all
that's
stealing
like
Tyler Perry shit
like
almost. But I get it. You inspire people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because a lot of times somebody sees something and they'll be like, even with stand-up, like somebody will hear a joke and they'll be like, they'll have something that they can relate to in their mind. So it'll be a joke that's similar to that, but then they tweak it and make it their own. So a lot of people do that.
See, I saw something recently, a comedian named Craig Facts. I watched his podcast. I saw something recently. They was talking about other comedians doing that. How do you feel about that? Like, has somebody ever like flipped one of your jokes?
Oh yeah, like a lot of people I've seen when they try to do like the clean comedy circuit or something, like they'll steal some of my material. Like I don't really care because for me, I know my lane. Like I said, I sell myself. Right. So like I see it as a privilege. A lot of people get offended because how in the comedy world everybody picking at the same barrel. Like everybody trying to do the same thing. Like but me, I'm like I'm in the lane over here. So I'm like creeping around like, y'all go ahead. Cause like you can't name 10 clean comics that you know. No. And neither can nobody else. But everybody looking for one, and they looking for it in.
Like
in
you
these,
said, it's some. I mean, okay. Is Ryan Davis? Does he count?
Ryan Davis.
Yeah, Ryan Davis.
I would count Ryan Davis.
You count Ryan Davis? All right.
But I had.
How about Kev on stage?
But that's what I'm saying.
It's like.
But can you name 10 though?
Nope. I'm thinking right now. I'm like, like it's probably them.
Yeah, so I toured with Kev, and I'm
for real.
Yeah, so Kev gonna be here October 7th through the 9th, and I'm gonna be opening for him at the House of Comedy too.
I'm about to pull up to that.
But yeah, so there's not, and this is why Kev is so successful as well, because everybody looking for a clean comic, but they looking for a clean comedy show and a comedian whose comedy is wrapped around explicitness. Right. So like you hear a lot of these people that book them and they just like, oh, he not that funny. Like, oh, I seen him live, he ain't that funny. It's like because he doing something that's not what his lane, and he gonna do it because the money look nice.
And stand up is fucking hard. Like I know
it's hard, bro.
Like like a lot of.
But the greats make it look easy. That's the thing. Like they be, you look at the greats and you be like, dang,
that shit look like it makes you seem like I go up there and do that. And you get up there like we all seen that episode of Fresh Prince. Yeah. With Will and D.L. Hughley. Will went up there look like a straight bozo. Bro, but that's just the difference in it because like you can be funny. Like you said, it's all about knowing your lane, knowing, you know what I'm saying, your market and all that shit. Yeah. Because he wasn't good on that. But listen, that what he's good at got him right here.
Exactly.
So what the fuck y'all really talking about?
And that's funny that you say that, bro, because I tell people there's two different types of comedians, bro. There's on stage comedians. And then there's day-to-day conversation, real talk comedians. Facts. I know so many people that are funny as heck in real life. Like when you having a regular conversation, hilarious.
You just laugh around
like
this
you can't stop laughing around them. But you put a mic in his hand and put him on the stage, butt cheeks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but that's
me. I can roast the fuck out of nigga. I can, do some some skits, but I'm not doing no stand up. Hey,
and that's where people get it confused, or you'll get the people who there's a lot of people who can do both, but it's like there's certain people that are funny in real life, and they be like, bro, you should do stand up, and then they be like, oh, I'm funnier than that dude. I know I'm funnier than that dude. You get on stage, you crack that joke, and nobody laughs. And you just
that joke that you said was funny.
Yeah,
nobody's fucking with.
You can't get up there and do conversation comedy on stage. I've seen too many people do that and they fail. And so it's like it's an art form. There's an actual art form to doing stand up comedy, and you can be funny in real life and become a stand up comic. Like I know a lot of dudes who are funny in real life. All they do is write. Because you can sell a joke to somebody. I've sold jokes to people because I'm like, I don't do explicit comedy, but
you can write that.
But I can write it. I'm hilarious.
What's the most you ever charged for a joke?
Well, I had one joke that I gave to somebody that tested, and it ripped. So I sold it for like $300 because I didn't know. But I know some writers who. Because you can be a writer, you can be a performer. I know some people who can't write a joke to save their life, but they can perform way out of this world.
Shout out to Drake, man. Thinking of that, I'm gonna ask you, what was your favorite album of the year?
Of the year?
Yeah.
Oh, no, off season. I'm a J. Cole.
I'll be honest, man. I'm gonna have to I listened to. I got halfway through Tyler shit. I ain't listen to all that shit, man. The shit was good though. The shit was good. The shit I heard was good for Tyler. And I don't even really like Tyler because I'm like he just be on some weird shit. But that shit was good.
You a Tyler fan?
No, I'm just a music fan. But no, Tyler's stuff objectively, I think that he might hold that album of the year unless somebody comes.
Let's Pusha T drop some crazy shit.
Let's Pusha T
because
Kendrick too.
I saw what you said on Twitter. I agree with you. I mean, both them albums they aren't what people are making them to be. The Kanye album and the Drake album. They're not to me. I judge Drake from a different point of view. I don't judge Drake. You're not no rapper to me, bro. You like an R&B nigga to me, bro.
See, I feel like they left the.
He's a pop star. That's what I'm saying.
The door open. I feel like because everybody expected in both albums
to be hard
rap albums.
It wasn't Kanye did a whole bad features mixed with, you know what I'm saying?
Kanye did a DJ Khaled.
He did a DJ Khaled album basically. Yeah. Drake, you just made basically.
He made Nothing Was the Same part 2. I thought as soon as
it wasn't as good.
Nothing.
Yeah, and it wasn't as good as that.
That's my favorite.
Nothing the same. I definitely. I think Take Care, but I hear everybody that don't say Take Care, they say Nothing Was the Same.
But I only say they're similar because the singing aspect.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
But they're all R&B.
He ain't rapping on there like that though, bro.
But that's the thing. But bro, when you get to a certain level, it was funny because I was literally just watching. That shit's still
good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was literally just watching something. Young Thug was on something, and then he was basically saying like Drake just at a level where he's just having fun with it at this point.
I actually paused right there. Let me change the battery.
If I got, I'm not even Christian or some shit like that.
I would have been like, damn, Kanye. Okay.
Yeah, tough.
Now I see. Tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we definitely gonna be on the lookout for what's the film name? Did you say? Or you
didn't say so it's called Sisters.
Sisters. All right.
Yep.
Sisters.
So it's
look out for that, man. I'm basically about to just kind of flood. You know what I mean? On this part of the episode, I'm gonna flood the screen with all your shit. So we gonna just go from there. Man.
Oh yeah, facts. Well then, Sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a suspense comedy. You know, zoom in, epic zoom in. Yeah, you know. So yeah, Sisters. It's a suspense comedy film that I wrote, directed, starred in, etc., etc. It's about my first film, and then I got another movie with Lorenz Tate. It's not. I'm not in a.
Name drop like that.
Well, man. But here's the thing. That's
a legend.
It's not like I'm really in. I'm in the film for a decent amount of time, but it's gonna be on Netflix in December. And then I'm working on another.
You win that shit. You know what I mean? I'm one of those. You win that.
Facts. I don't even. I might be in there for
I'm one of those. You touched the rim, man. I grabbed it. If
y'all see the back of my hand, nigga, send me a video. I'm just like,
oh shit. Yeah, oh god.
I got a decent, a little bit of talking roles in there. I'm in a couple scenes, but and then I'm filming this other movie in November. That they trying to get on Amazon Video and all these other places. So that's gonna be in select theaters. So that's gonna be a big one.
I can't wait for that, bro. I'm gonna stay tuned for the sisters and all that shit. So.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, just keep supporting, man. Keep supporting the YouTube and all that. I'm getting back on it. I just had to take a little break. You know, my father had passed in March, so I kind of had to like.
Sorry for your loss, bro.
Tone out. I appreciate it, bro. But yeah, so I'm back on the Grizzly. I'm back on the road. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, holla at your boy. Everything you can find on Instagram, all of that. So
all right, man, we gonna do it, man. It's been a dope episode. I'm gonna have you come back on for like, cause I'm about to switch. I'm about to switch shit up soon. I'm about to actually have it like more open. You know what I mean? Base where I just get like people whose minds I fuck with. You know what I mean? Who can hold a conversation, and then we'll just
report.
Yeah, facts.
So we'll just do some shit like that, and I'm definitely gonna reach out to you, bro. So
And I'm gonna start a funny podcast. I'm starting a comedy podcast where I basically we come up with funny ways to answer questions about why women and / men do certain things.
Call me as soon as you get that up and running.
So we basically taking people's opinions or like questions that they have for the opposite sex, and then we gonna clown. We're gonna clown with it. So that's coming soon.
Man. All right, man. It's your boy Wayne. My life not yours. It's been another episode. Shout out to my boy Juice for coming through.
Yes, sir.
Holding it down.
Make sure y'all watch this man podcast, bro, man.
Yeah.
Share it. You know, all of that, cuz.
Yeah.
Before I come find y'all, cuz. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, word.
All
man.
love,
We
bro.
Out. We out, man. Word.